Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Coffee Talk from Planet Fair. My name is Henrike von Platen, and I'm very proud today to have a guest with me who we're going to talk about how to reach Planet Fair faster. And please, Nadja, go and tell us, who are you?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nadja Sirotkina, and I work in Breitling. That is Swiss luxury watchmaker.
I think many know this one, and we can see it behind you in your store. And you don't only make watches, you also make fair pay, as far as I know. You're a certified company, and you've done pay equity analysis and lots of stuff like that. And I would like you to share a bit, what exactly have you done, and how long have you been doing this?
Probably I have to start from telling how big we are and where we are in general. So we are a Swiss watchmaker. At the same time, we are a global company. So we are about 1,700 people that are employed in about 40 different markets. And around half of them are employed in Switzerland. Okay. So we started fair pay analysis 3 years ago in Switzerland for Swiss population. And the results were good. So we decided that the next step would be to have a global analysis that we did last year. And that actually how we met each other.
So when you said you started 3 years ago in Switzerland, that did have to do with the legislation in Switzerland?
Yeah, absolutely. The fair pay legislation was introduced in Switzerland, and then it is a special standard that we had to follow. And to be honest, this standard is not that strict as your standard. That apparently is the good first step to see where you are. And so then when 3 years ago we made this analysis, the results were good, and that's also the trigger, the appetite to see where we are globally.
Yeah. Oh, I liked what I heard. In a way, you got an appetite and you go for the stricter version, and you do it globally, no matter if there's legislation or not, because you really want to pay fairly. So the interesting part that I think would be for others who are listening and watching, what kind of findings can you share or are willing to share that show a bit where you might have found challenges or things that others might not want to step into and do the same, not mistakes, but maybe go a bit faster at points where you can give them a little hint on something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the starting point was where to start from with this global approach. And then what we wanted to do, we wanted to have also an external standard like certification finally that we used in order to have a system to put it into this framework. And when we were talking with different companies who are working in this fair pay area, what we found out that it's still quite seldom when companies do the global analysis. That typically there are two approaches, and one of them is more common. It's when within the same company, the analysis is done locally on the country level, and then what is happening on the global level, it's weighted, aggregated pay gap analysis. And therefore, there are not that many companies who can support the global analysis and explain what kind of approach you have to take. But we were lucky we found one. The second finding, that is quite banal, the data quality is key. Mm-hmm. The data quality is key, and that's also probably one of the reasons why companies are not able to do this analysis globally, or they do not have resources to do this globally. So then to run your analysis globally, you have to secure that you have global access to your data.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's also a point with the data that often what I often hear is that there is this kind of, oh, do I have all the data? Do I have the right data? I always tend to respond, just start with what you have. I mean, you have to have a starting point. If you're going to wait until your data is fine, you're never going to start probably, because you can always say, I'm missing something. Mm-hmm. So did you in a way have that feeling that you started with less and now have you sort of, how would I say, did you improve your data during these years on purpose to find out better things? Did you work on your data?
In a way, we were lucky because regardless of this fair pay process, we launched the global database for HR data. And but to the point when we started the global analysis, we had base pay data available globally. And then answering to your question, in order to move forward, now we are working on getting access to other elements of rewards, like variable rewards or benefits. Yeah. And that's a huge task to do.
Okay. I remember, and I don't know if you would like to share that, but maybe you can share something on that. I remember we have discussed in one of our talks together about wage bands, and you were like talking about, are they very thin or broad? And I remember you told me something where I was sort of a bit surprised, because I tend to see wage bands sometimes with companies that are huge, meaning that the wage inside one band doubles or even triples. And I then ask, hey, but how do you actually define if I'm at the bottom, at the middle, or at the top of the wage band? What is your experiences that you might want to share on wage bands?
Yeah, this is a very interesting thing. So in Breitling, and I said that we are 1,700 people, it's a relatively small organization. Our grade structure is very detailed. So we have more than 20 grades, and the salary range is pretty narrow. That for a reward specialist, like when I joined Breitling, I said, ooh, that's too many, too narrow, as you mentioned before. But then that was exactly the thing that enabled such a great and amazing adjusted pay gap. Because you know that when we made this analysis, then we found out that our adjusted pay gap is less than 1%. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And then we analyzed what were the reasons for that. And that was one of the biggest reasons, that actually our pay decision is defined by, you can say, by very strict rules.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, we are getting to the point where we are looking forward to a EU directive, transparency directive, and one of the points are, of course, that the group gap is also small, which I suppose wouldn't be an issue for you anyhow. But there's also this question of saying, okay, when an employee asks you, or even if he doesn't or she doesn't ask, but you need to be able to explain exactly why you're paying that person what you're paying and for what reasons. So with the way that you have with the thin wage bands and the explanations, you probably say, okay, that directive can come, we will be fine.
I hope we will. I hope we will.
Okay, I didn't want to call you up, but
yeah, but there are other things, and then you can always challenge. But why grade is like that, right? So you can go deeper and say, yeah, why my job is on this grade but not on that grade. So that's always an area for discussion.
Yeah, well, it's always it's okay to discuss, but I think the important part is that you, as presenting the company, are able to sort of say very clearly that objective factors sort of define where your position is, and that for that reason you get such and such a wage.
Absolutely,
so you're not having to change everything. I'm looking at the time, and it's sort of time always goes so fast in coffee talks. But maybe do you have another one last point, something that you really want to share to other companies out there that we can end our talk with?
Yeah, so the crucial thing that what you do with your results. And then it's a lot about consistency, and it's a lot about not having one-time exercise, but an integral approach and the philosophy of your leadership culture.
Thank you very much. That sounds really good. So here we go. Now we have the best practice out there, and we hope other companies can learn from that. And I look forward to seeing you soon again, Nadja. Thank you very much for joining us on the Coffee Talk, and have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you. The same for you. Bye.